A very good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to the mentoring come doubt solving session of Code Heist Week 2. It is a great pleasure to say that Code Heist Week 2 was as much success as Code Heist Week 1, with more than 2,000 registrations and 1,500 plus participants competing for the win. Thanks to D2C, we have successfully resolved all the previous issues. We hope you all did not face any issues this week. We have also provided a queries voice channel on our Discord server for queries and doubts, which you all can refer to during the contest to get help for for the issues if face any. The link for our Discord server is provided in the chat box and also in the description. Moreover, before we start, there is a good news for you all. We bagged one more sponsor for our event, none other than well-renowned DigitalOcean, a scalable cloud infrastructure provider. Here is some more information on DigitalOcean. You will receive these QR codes and steps on email from where you can access the benefits. Today we have with us Aryaman Jain sir to help us with the questions and doubts. He is well versed with DSA and competitive coding. Aryaman sir, you may please proceed.
Hello. So I'm Arvind. So just one sec. Okay. So let me share my screen and we can proceed. Okay. Okay, my screen is shared. Okay. So like before starting any question, if anyone have a query about a specific question, then we can before look at that and then we can discuss question wise. So anyone with a query, any specific question? So I think there is a poll in the chat where people can mark in which question they have queries. So if a question has a majority, then we can discuss it first. After that, words we can discuss other questions. So I will wait for a while, then we can get started. Okay. So I think uh, okay. So let's see. Okay. Okay. So there are three questions I think which have the most queries. So there are two questions in division one and one question in division two. So in division two, the question is I think heist codes. So let me have a look at the question. Just one sec before I begin it. Uh, uh, okay, so so the question is like we have different passwords, so there are different criteria for the passwords. The passwords can be the password should be minimum of 6 length, maximum of 12. There should be at least a special character from that list. There should be at least a lower letter, one lower letter and one caps lock letter and a digit. And we have given a number of like we have given a number of I say passwords, and we have to tell which are the correct ones. So this is a very basic questions. What we can do, we can simply iterate over it, and then we can check is all the criteria is matched or not, and then we can have a look. So let me show you by coding. Like for example, there is a password like PU14 hashtag 14, and another one it's hell. Okay, there are two password here, Rio 14 and hell. So the Rio 14 was the first criteria was the password should be between the length of 6 and 12, and we can see it is of 6 and it's matching that criteria. The second criteria was that it should have a special character, a number, and a lower letter and a caps lock letter. So there is a lower letter, there's a caps lock letter, and a special character and numbers. So we can say it's a perfect match. So what we can do, so there are two, three things also given that the input is comma separated. And I think for this Python is very appropriate because Python handles these things very pretty well. So let me take the input. So we can take input like let me string input. This is a single input, and then we have to uh, like the input is like this. For example, if I take one test case from the challenge, just one sec. So if I take this test case, okay, yeah, my bad. So this is a test case. So this is comma separated. So we need to first find out the individual words, or we can say yeah words. So what we can do, we can simply do list is equal to list, and then we can we don't need to map. We can just do list and string dot split. And the splitting criteria is comma here because after the word is separated by comma, so we can easily split it using commas. And then we can go out a list. Now we have to check that each word is correct or not. So we can just make a small function for it. Like let's say def check and a word will be there. So we can say password. And then we can just check first criteria. So the password, so the length of password should be greater than is equal to 6, and I think it should be less than, I think it was less than 12. Yeah, maximum 12. So it's less than is equal to 12. And length of password is less than is equal to 12. I think this is right. So we can, if this is not match, we can return false. So we can do if this is not matching, if not this, then return false. This was the first criteria for this. Then there was a second criteria, there should be at least one caps lock character. So we can do if we have to iterate over it. So for character in word, and we can just do a flag for it. Flag is equal to false, false, and we can just do if c is greater than is equal to a and c is less than is equal to z, then we say flag is equal to true. So we are just checking that is there a character between A and Z. If it is the case, so if it's not the case, so we can just return if not flag, return false, false. Similarly, we will do the same thing for uh,
आ गया लोडिंग आ गया आ गया लोडिंग आ गया आ गया लोडिंग आ गया So, sir, it's about to begin.
Yeah. So, should I continue? Yeah. So, where were we? Yeah. So, if there is some jump, I guess there is might be a jump between the two break pauses. So, let me explain what I did here. So, first we just take the input. I don't remember where the jump started, which part is skipped. So, I'm starting from the start. So first we took an input and then we just split using comma because the input we got was comma separated. So we just split and form a list of it. And we just need to check if each password in the list is correct or not. And if it's correct, then we can just print it. Correct, to check it's correct or not, we can create a function. So I have created a function check. First I have to check the first condition that it should be the length should be between 6 and 12. The minimum should be 6 and the maximum should be 12. First I checked that. Then I checked if there is a lower letter in it, then we can, if this is not the case, then we will return false. Same goes for caps lock, same goes for numbers, and then a special character. If each case is passed, then we can return just simply return true. So this is only will come when there is no return false, and then we can just at the end return true. So I can run it and then I can give input here. So let's see, so these two were correct and so it got printed. Let me take another test case from the uh, contest. So let me take test case 2. So here we have three passwords. Let me run it again. So Nairobi 23. So I think only the last one is correct because the first one have no caps lock in it. I think, yeah. The second one has no numbers and stuff. So we can just enter. And okay, so my mistake. I think yeah. So Nairobi at the 23 was the only one which is correct. So then we can move on to the next question. I think it was the team up. So let me see what is the correct question. One sec. Yeah. So Berlin is holding hostages and he asked them to stand in a line. Professor realized that a person can team up with the person on the left whose height is just less than the person height and escape. So he asked Berlin to find a team up partner for each person. If there is no team up partner, then we can return -1. We can. So let me explain first. Explain the question, and then we can proceed to the explanation. So, just one sec. Let me take a test case for this from the contest. Okay. Okay. Let it load. Okay. So let me open CVS compiler. Let me take an example from the question only. The test case is still loading. This is the test case. So 25267. So we will check one by one and let's see what is the case. For 2, there is no person on the left, so there is no team of partner. We can just do -1 for this. Now it's 5. 5, the smallest person on the left is 2, which is strictly smaller than, but it's not equal, it's less than 2. So we can just do a 0 index here. For 2, there is no person on the left whose height is strictly smaller than 2. So it's 5 which is greater and 2 is equal. So we have to do again -1. Similarly for 6, 2 is just smaller, so we can just do 0, 1, 2, I guess. And then we can, for 7, we can do 6. So it will be 3. This and this way we can just find. So using the n, this can be simply done using n scale complexity. What we can do, we can check each characters, like we can take this person and we can check everyone on the left and see first person whose height is less than this person. If there is no, we can just return -1 or else the index of that. But this will be n square, and I think in the test case it was something like 10 to the power 6. So if we do n square, then it will be 10 to the power 12 or 10 to the power 10 if it's 10 to the power 5. then both will take a lot of time while running. So we have to find a solution which is much more less than n square. So it can be unlog n, or it can be simply n also. So we will be doing this in n complexity, and we will be doing this in n complexity, and let's see. So for this, what we can do, see, if a person, there's a very good like key insight here. If there is person whose height is less than all the person here, so the answer will be always this, because the answer can't be this, right? So if there is a person this whose height is less than all the person here, so the answer will always be this. Let me see if it's 1. So the answer can be either 2 or it can be either 1. The answer can be never be 5, because everyone which is greater than for everyone whose 5 is less than for them, 2 will be also less than, right? So we can just never need to check 5, but we need to check 1 sometimes, because there can be case, because we can see that there is another number 2, the 1, then the 1 will be the answer. So what we can do, we can create a stack here. So let me import bits slash std c plus plus dot h. Then we can let me do the single test case one. So what we can do, we can create a stack here. Then we can create a vector here. We can take the input. So let me take n first input, int n. So let me do this. First in n as input, in n. Then we can define the size of it. Then we can just loop and take all the inputs. So let me do that. So we can do C in VI. So here we have all the input. Now we can proceed to the solution. First we need to check for the first person. So for the first person, always the answer will be -1, right? So let me create a for something for answer also. So answer. So the for the first person, the answer will be always -1. So what we can do, so first we need to check if there is any number. What we'll do, we will create a stack which will be storing all the number which are less than the current number. So if we if we want to enter any number in the stack, we just need to remove every number which is greater than it, and then we can just simply enter in this enter that in the stack. Why we are doing this? We are doing this because we don't need any number which is greater than current number, because if any number this number the current number is less than all the numbers on the left, so the answer can be this always. They can't be the answer. We can repeat this and check. So what we can do, we can do, so okay, so we can do while stack is like s not okay, so s is not empty, there is something in stack. And one more thing, the s the top of the stack is greater, or we can take is equal to also then area, because we need the closest person. So we can do vi, and if this is the case, we can just do s pop. Now the same goes for so the answer. So what will be the answer if the stack is not empty? If the stack is not empty, then what we can do? We can simply, if s is not empty, what we can do? We can say the answer will be the index. So okay, so what we will be store is store the index, right? We need the index here. So we will do v as top. Okay, yeah. So if s not empty, then we can do just answer dot push s dot top. Okay, but if this is not the case, then the answer will be -1. Answer dot push -1. Okay, we can do this. And for the last thing, what we can do, we have to push something in the character, because we have removed all the smaller ones. We can just simply push this in stack. Okay, fine. What we did, we just checked if there is anything in stack which is greater than or is equal to the current one, and then we have removed all those. Then we have checked if there is something as an answer, there is a possible answer for that. If there is not a possible answer, because we have removed everything greater, so anything smaller will be left in the stack. So the top one will should be the first answer we should get. So what we can do? So yeah, so that will be that answer. If there is nothing as an answer, possible answer, then the answer will be always negative one, and then we can simply push that number because it can be a possible answer for next one. So yeah, so let me just print answers for int I and answer. See out I. So just to be sure, we are removing all the greater characters, greater numbers, because we know if that is that answer, because if 5 is the answer, we know for sure 2 can be the answer, right? Because 2 is always smaller than 5. That's why we are removing all the greater number from the stack, because we know the number we will going to push, which can be always the possible answer. So let's run this. So the n will be here, I think. Okay, I think using names is std, and then I think we can run. Let me give. Okay, let me use some in the compiler. The compiler will give problems. This compiler. We can just simply copy this part. We don't need that part. Okay, this compiler will also give problems. I should use something called control point here first. Okay, we can just this V, sorry, control Z, control V, return this, return 0. Then we can just give the input. So I think the input is 5 and 2, 5, 2, 6, 7. So 5, 2, 5, 2, 6, 7. Let me execute this and let's see the result. Okay, bit slash std dot h. Execute this. Okay. Consider push back because we're using vector here, not stack. So to see the answer clearly, we can just do this. Yeah, so minus 1, 0, minus 1, 2, 3, which was the possible answer. Let me take another just test case for a quick checkup. So let me take test case of 20 size. So let me test case, take this as a test case. You can see the possible answer. For 7, there will be minus 1. For 15, the answer will be 7. For 13, will be 7. For 11, will be 7. For 8, will be 7. For 20, it will be 8. For 11, it will be 8. So what we do? So let's implement from let's dry run with the code. So first we will check the stack is empty. There is nothing. So we will do the minus 1 and push this in the stack. Similarly, we will remove 11 because we will remove all the number greater than 7 from the stack and we will push 7. Now there will be something in the stack 7. Now for 15 there is something in stack which is not greater than 15. So we will push at the top. So we push that as the answer. Then we will push 15 and so we will push 13. So as 15 is in stack and it is greater than uh, the current element in stack, so we will remove it. Then the only 7 is left in the stack and it's at the top. So for the 13, the answer will be 7. So we will again push 13 as the answer in stack, and we will repeat this process again and again for 11, for 8, and for 20. So we can see what will be the answer. So it's minus 1 for 8, 1 for 8 5. So this is the answer we can see, and I think it's correct. We can check something in random. We can check this. So 5, it should be minus 1. Yep. No, for 5 it can be 4. Sorry, not minus 1. And for 18 it should be 8. Yeah, so it's correct. So this was the solution team up, the problem team up. And let me see the last question uh, for the session, which is we have given many sticks of different length, and we have to connect any two sticks. We can connect any two sticks, and the water will fill in it. So let me see, or let me draw something as an example. So if this is the case, let me say there are one stick here, one stick here, one stick here. This is the case here. Let me remove this from here. So this is the case. So there are four sticks of different length. So we have to connect any two sticks from the bottom. So like this, and water will fill it in the gaps, right? So we can connect any two sticks and ignore the one in between. So like if we connect this two, the water will be filled here only, between these two and these two. But if we connect this and this, then the water will be filled all here. So we have to find somehow which sticks we should connect to get the maximum water retain property for all the sticks. So what we can do, we can do it very in a greedy approach way, or we can say it can be a greedy approach. What we can do, we can start a pointer from a left and start a pointer from a right. Sorry, start a pointer from right and left. And what we can do, this can be one possible answer, right? So this can be an answer using this stick, and that can be a possible answer. So as we go further, the answer will be always greater because the breadth will be always be too much. So it can be the max breadth possible, and the height can be either low or high. We don't know. There can be a height between somewhere which is greater, but we know for sure the breadth will be low there. So what we can do, we can start from the end points because no, this will be the max breadth. Then we can see this is the possible answer. Then what we will see, the possible greater answer is if will be only there if we will remove the smaller stick and find something greater ahead or after it. So like see, if we remove this stick, so this is the possible greatest answer here, but this is the limiting case, right? So we need to find if there is a possible greatest stick ahead. So we will always go forward. If there is a like if we are choosing two sticks here, so we will always remove that stick which is smaller because the that is decreasing our answer somehow. So we need to remove that stick and find another stick. So we will remove that stick and look up for another stick ahead or before after that. So similarly we can let me try it with code. Let me fill it with code. It will be much easier to understand. So we first use n input. We can take v as input, and that will be the answer. For answer we don't need vector here. We can just do long int. And why I'm doing long int, I'll explain just now. So I remember the test case is 10 to the power 6 or something. At the length of the stick can be 10 to the power 6. So let me see the extreme case. There is 10 to the power 6 sticks, and at the end there are 10 to the power 6 height. The max breadth will be 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power 6, which is 10 to the power 12, which is much higher than what normal integer can store. That's why we need to use long int here as a possible thing to store answer. So I think there will be test cases for that to check. So that's why we use long int here. So we can let's go by the solution. We start from the one from left, and then we start one from n minus one, n minus one. What we do while I is less than j, because if stick is both sticks are both index are same, then we are using one stick only and we can't use one stick. So we would use long int here also. Check. So what will be answer here? It will be the breadth will be j minus I, and the height will be minimum of vi or vj. So why minimum? Because the water will overflow after the minimum one. So we have to take the minimum one. So we will do this. So the answer can be either our current answer or the temp. We need to take the maximum one. And then we can simply check if array I is less than array j, then we can do I plus plus, because we know this is the limiting case. So we need to remove it and find the better one. Or we can do j minus minus. Similarly, the opposite case which j is less than array I. And then I think this will each pointer will move towards each other, and it will end after n times. There can be max n iteration that the I stick is small or the left one is smaller, and we are iterating at we are iterating at each stick only one time. So this why the complexity is n. So we can just then print the answer to check. So it will always store the max answer, and we have checked all the which can be a possible answer. We have not checked all the possible cases. We have to check all the cases which can be the possible answer, because we are looking greedily only for the better answer. We know this can be impossible. We store current answer and we look ahead if there is a greedily if there ahead there is a possible greater answer. So let's print the answer. And I think I have changed the test case. So test case is 117345. So 7 sticks. There are 7 sticks. So I think we can correct 7 and 6. That give you maximum answer. So what is the breadth? The height will be 6 and the breadth will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0, 1, 3 and 6. So the height breadth will be 5. 5 into 6, 30. So let me execute this. So oh sorry, I've used array. You need to use the my bad. So the answer is 30, and we can take another test case from the question. So let me copy this, paste this, okay, wait and execute this. Now this is 240. We can check what can be the possible answer. I think the answer should be 15 and 18. So this index is 0, 1, 2, right? And this is 19 and 18. So 2 minus is 16 into 15, right? And 16 into 15 should give us, it's 2, 2, 9, 16 into 15. Yeah, 240. So this is the answer here. We have took the 15 stick and we took the 18 stick. If we check from dry running it, we start from 11, 11, which will give a possible answer of 19 to 11 something. Then we will either move by this or this. It can be either case. It doesn't matter. So let me see. We move by this. Another pointer is here, and the pointer is still at 11. Then this can be a possible answer. Then we will again move ahead to 7. This can be a possible answer, but it will be not greater than this. And we will move. We will check 7 and 18. We know 7 is smaller. Then we will look ahead. So we will go to 15. And I think the 50 18 is lot bigger. Simply we will check 13, 11, 8 till 20. After 20, we know 18 is smaller, then we will move to 8, then 5 and 20. Then we can move either one. So we will move this, and similarly we will check all the possible answers which can be possible. So that's how we get 240 here. So this was the question, I think max area or max water something. So this was the question for that, solution for that. And if is there any doubt, I can take any doubts here. I think I took all the major questions where people are facing doubts. So I'll wait for 5 minutes. If there is any query or not, then I think we can end the session there. So I don't think there is a query. I'll still wait. Uh, so, so there is no query. Then I think we can end. Thanks for joining in. Let's Aryan, you should take on from here. Sorry, Arush. My bad.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you for the wonderful lesson, for the wonderful event. It was really fruitful. So, if you still have any doubts, you can join Ariman sir for one-to-one session for doubt solving. Link is in the description and chat box. All the solution for the code heist will be posted on our GitHub organization. Join with the link in the description and chat box. See you all next week. Code Heist Contest 3. That is on 5th February, 3 to 4 p.m. Thank you.